It's week 3, NFL picks, little discussion beforehand, but
Yes, yes, yes,
nothing
yes.
on this show gets started
Oh yeah.
without Rodg bringing us in. 3 from Alabama. This is difficult. 2, 1.
NFL Week 3 picks.
Mm. That Alabama education is paying off, Raj. It's paying off. How are we doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastically splendid on this beautiful Friday evening. Herb, how are you doing?
It depends on what we're talking about. With college, we're off this weekend, so it's
Yep,
a nice
yep.
chill weekend. We're talking NFL.
Yeah, but
Been a
it's
rough
it's
time
it's
lately for
chill. It's
huh?
chill, but there's still like anxiety that's just going to boil over to next week until next Saturday evening when the game is finally over.
Yeah, this
So
is true. This is
yeah,
true. And we're covering it for anybody watching this and you're an NFL person. We've got several videos and stuff coming out. Depending when you're watching this, we have
yeah, yeah.
Tuesday night show, 8 p.m. Central. Got a Georgia Bulldog guest there. 9 o'clock on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central. We'll have our college picks. At the end of that, we'll discuss the game. And then we'll, of course, have Bama versus the World, the Georgia edition. So
Oh
all
yeah.
those things to look forward to.
Looking forward to
So,
that one too.
yeah. All right. The other reason why I said it wasn't that great a week, it seems like it's been a rough week or maybe a couple weeks for the Alabama quarterbacks. Um,
Yeah,
it's
it
they're
has. It
just
has.
or former Alabama quarterbacks, I should say.
Yeah,
I don't know
we
which
know it.
situation you kind of wanted to hit. We
You
talked about it a little beforehand. The Bryce Young getting bench situation.
yeah. Let's jump into let's talk about the Tua situation just for those people who have been living under a rock for the past 1 or 2 weeks. Obviously, he suffered his third concussion within 2 years. Anyways, it was announced that he will be available. I guess he's going to be on IR, but he's the first week he will be eligible to play is week 8.
Right.
Without looking at Miami's schedule, I don't even know who will be playing there and who will be playing on that day in week 8. Again, that's just when he will be first eligible. Again, he'll probably be evaluated by team doctors, etc. See how he feels to see if he's going to play. I don't think he should play anymore. I've already shared my
Heard that
sentiments on
on
the whole
yeah.
situations. Yeah. So I don't know if he'll play again this season. I honestly don't know. In his absence, obviously Skylar Thompson's going to get the start until if Miami makes any type of deals, trades, whatever the case may be during the season, because Miami is, let's be honest, they're built to win now. They've got the receiving core, they got the running backs. Still need some help on the defensive end. Could bolster up the offensive line a little more, but they're built to win now, so they're probably shopping, looking around. Even when Tua went down, I think that's when the ball started moving, and they started thinking, okay, what are our options out here? When or if Tua returns. So Miami wants to win now.
Yeah.
Situation number 2, obviously, we found out, was it Sunday night or Monday we found out Bryce
Feels like it was Monday.
Monday?
It feels like
Yeah.
it was Monday.
Bryce Young, second-year starter. This is the second year starting at Carolina. Off to an 0-2 start, just a rough start. He found out he's getting benched. Andy Dalton's going to get the start Sunday. And depending on who you are, obviously Herb and I being Bama fans, I mean, it's just like Bryce is just in a really, really unfortunate situation. That team is not built to succeed regardless of who the quarterback is. I mean, Adam Thielen is 34 years old. He's like apparently their go-to receiver. They don't have a good offensive line, no good running. There's nothing built around Bryce to help him succeed. It was going to look like, honestly, if he was continue to start here, it's going to look somewhat like a Justin Fields type situation. Be there for 3 or 4 years, and then they shop around for another quarterback. So It's unfortunate that Bryce is getting benched, but hopefully there's a silver lining here. So maybe he sits, and we'll just see what happens. But shout out to Bryce. We all want to see him do the best. It's just maybe elsewhere. Maybe elsewhere is the best fit for him.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's the problem. I don't think, and obviously because we're Bama fans, we're biased. There's other fans like, oh, he's been terrible. I just don't know that you can ever give a fair evaluation when, like you said, what he's gone to is terrible, and his best receiver is Adam Thielen, and they traded away a number 1 to get him. So it's just, it's bad. If they were going to start Dalton, I would have done it last year. I wouldn't have started him all last year. Fired his coach in the middle. It just seems, and Tepper's a terrible owner.
Yep.
So and look, Bryce might be a bust. Like there is that possibility. He might, maybe he's not the quarterback that they need anyway. But I don't think you're going to know that properly with what you've put out there. So
and what do they expect to happen with Andy Dalton starting? Is he just going to like really light that team on fire and lead them to like a 6-game win streak? Like I just don't see that happening. So maybe they bench Bryce. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, honestly, in the situation they're in, winning is not that great anyway. I mean, you really want a higher draft pick, and you need to get some more, picks in there. Then I don't know if they like this draft class coming out. Ewers, Beck, Milrose, Sanders. Are any one of those guys your franchise guy?
But does Carolina have the number 1 pick in the next draft?
I thought they only traded this past one, so I feel like they've got a high draft pick coming up next year.
Okay, so this is my question that I was going to ask you. Regardless of what their pick is, what is your first pick going to be? Is it going to be offensive line? Is it going to be receiver? What would it be to help out Bryce?
If it's to pick to help out Bryce, I'm probably going line. But if I get like a top 3 pick, there's no way I'm doing that. I'm probably going to trade back and see if I can get some packages. Because you just have so many holes. One guy is not going to fix whatever you need next year.
I feel like offensive line would be assessed first because I feel like you could get a good receiver, a good, nice young receiver somewhere in later rounds anyway. So, I don't know. I don't have all Carolina's picks in front of me, so I'm not sure what the order is.
Yeah, they have what does it say? I just want the list. Okay, they have their own first, the Rams second, their own third, their own fourth. So they've got a pick in every round.
Okay. Yeah.
And their own first, so however bad they do is whatever they get. So and the Rams second might actually end up being high if these injuries keep decimating them. So
yep. And like I said, it's just going to take time to build around Bryce. Like even next year's draft, even if they have a really, really good high graded draft, it's still not going to be enough just next year. It's going to take years to build. So
if you commit to Bryce and you get a top 3 pick or something, I'm trading that back to get a lot more picks. That's what I'm going to try to do. If somebody falls in love with somebody that's up there. So. But the situation just kind of sucks. Like you said, I feel very, very bad for him and what he's having to go through there. Other than that, Rodg, with that kind of sad news.
Yeah.
Week 2 was a strange week.
Yep.
In the NFL. A lot of your favorites at home go down. Lions go down the Bucks, which maybe not a shock because the Bucks did play them tough last year in the playoffs.
Baker has been playing good with Tampa Bay. He's had a pretty good couple of seasons there. So shout out to
Baker's been cooking. He's been because he bakes.
I get it. Baker, the chef. Yes, I get it.
Sometimes he cooks. Okay. All right. So that one's not as shocking. The Lions defense seems stuck in the mud at time, even though you
had to mention the Lions defense, didn't you?
No, offense. I'm sorry, their offense has been stuck in the mud. Their defense was fine. If you give up 20 points in an NFL game, like that's not terrible at all. But
the only reason I said that is
because
I have
the
Lions
defense in
fantasy. Anyway, sorry.
No, I honestly was thinking I meant their offense. Their offense has not really been clicking the way they wanted. So,
I feel like the most surprising to me out of week 2 was the Cowboys getting mollywopped at home by New Orleans.
There's 2 there for me.
Yeah,
but we'll start with yours for sure. The Dallas, but the one I was actually going to go with was Ravens losing at home to the Raiders.
Yeah,
but the way Dallas lost and how bad their defense looked.
Dallas was just never really in that game, and I thought it was going to be. I picked Dallas to win. I thought it was going to be competitive because the Saints looked really, really good in game 1, but this game was never competitive. And they had Derek Carr looking like Joe Montana out there. He was just slinging the ball. And Alvin Kamara had a field day. I wish I had him on my fantasy team. Whoever had him on the fantasy team last week, this year, is just racking up because he had 4 touchdowns. I forgot how many total yards. He just ate up in fantasy. So Saints just had it. Saints are looking good. Offense is looking good. We knew that the defense was pretty stout coming into the season, so now things are kind of balancing out. Derek Carr is having a good year, so hey, shout out to the Saints, man. They're looking good.
They're looking really good. They're looking really good. Good game coming up this week with them too.
Oh, yeah.
So, like you said with that one was definitely a shock, and the way it went down and how quickly it was over. I mean, they have 35 points in the first half. It's 35-16 and a half. Like, it looked terrible. But the Ravens choking away another one.
Yep.
To the Raiders of all people.
Raiders, yeah.
I mean, and to drop them to 0-2, and I think that's why it was like a bigger one for me. I was like, what is going on in Baltimore?
Yeah. I don't know. And obviously we're going to talk about their next upcoming game here. So there's a possibility they could fall to 0-3. Of course, we'll give our predictions on the game, but I don't know. We all thought with them getting Derrick Henry, that would just really, really strengthen and tighten up their run game and give Lamar that final piece he needs to make that Super Bowl push. But I can't figure it out. I can't put my finger on it. I'm not sure what's going on there.
They gave 18 rushes, 84 yards, and a touchdowns. But I was looking for their record in one-score games. I mean, it's just horrible in the past couple of years, Rodg. And this is, you can't do stuff like this, especially this early in the season, to a team like the Raiders.
Yeah.
So, and no offense to the Raiders. We know that that's Randy's team.
Yeah, but
if you're Baltimore and you're a Super Bowl contender, you have to win games like this.
Yeah. I agree.
I can't find it. Okay. I know Randy's watching. What do you guys thought? Hey, look, it's the Raiders, and they had Gardner Minshew out there. But, I mean, 30 for 38, 276, a touchdown interception.
Yeah.
Great. Our boy Brock Bowers, 9 catches for 98 yards. I mean.
Brock Bowers is having a good season. I'll give it to him. He's having a really, really good season. So
yeah. Well,
still wish he
like what they're doing.
Came to Miami.
Like what they're doing.
Yep. Well, now I don't know how it's going to look anyway. So.
Yep. All right, we didn't get this on in time, but we had texted each other our picks, and we both went with the Jets on Thursday night, which, of course, that one came true. Just never thought New England would have enough offense to stay in that game. That's just kind of where that was. So let's move on to Sunday's picks, Rodg. We can start off. First one up there, the Giants at Cleveland. I mean, it's got to be Cleveland, right?
I'm going to go with Cleveland. I think, after they lost to Dallas in game 1, there were the discussions about, is it the beginning of the end for Deshaun Watson? He kind of bounced back, had a pretty good game last week. The Giants are the Giants. I think that, I've already spoken about Daniel Jones. They got to get a new quarterback. I'm pretty sure they're going to draft one in this upcoming draft. Malik Neighbors had a good game. I think he had – I don't remember his stats, but Malik Neighbors did have a pretty good game. Him and Daniel Jones did hook up, but I don't think Daniel Jones is the answer there. The Giants are still the Giants. I'm going to go with Cleveland in this game.
Yeah. And I've said this before. The Neighbors pick was a good pick, and you're trying to retool the line. It's not the worst thing for the Giants to come out of this team this year with the losing season and get a high draft pick.
Get a high draft pick. Yep.
Jones. Yep. So, but yeah, I went with Cleveland also. I feel like, especially at home, they get the 2-1. Yep. And the way the division's falling apart, I mean, Pittsburgh is 2-0. We'll talk about them in a minute, but it's not sustainable to keep winning games and not scoring any touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
All right. The Bears at the Colts. Colts desperate at home. Only favored by 1. The Bears offense just has looked terrible.
Is Keenan Allen going to be back for this game, or is he still out? Do we know?
Is he ever really back? I think that's the problem.
Yeah, to your point, I just feel like Caleb Williams has not looked like USC Caleb Williams these first 2 games, and I think it's going to take time for that to happen. And I said this several times. I said, regardless of whether Justin Fields is there or not, the new quarterback is going to face the same type of things that Justin Fields was facing. Yes, they got a running back and they got some receivers and they kind of built around Caleb Williams, but it's the NFL now. You're not at USC anymore. You're not going to have as much time to make these type of decisions. You're not going to be able to run all over the field. You've got to make these decisions faster. He hasn't adjusted yet, but it's only been 2 games and he's a rookie. Right. So let's give him some time. With that being said, I'm going to take Anthony Richardson and the Colts at home to cover.
Yep. Do you see the Anthony Richardson and Jalen Milroe comps? Do you think that's a fair comparison?
I don't know. I felt like a better comp, and this is my personal opinion, and let me know what you think, was Milroe to Lamar in Lamar's first year in the NFL. Because remember, in his first year in the NFL, he wasn't the best passer. He was still strictly known for his athleticism and running around like he did at Louisville. I think that's where Milroe is now. But obviously, Lamar today is a much better passer, more accurate. Passing yards have increased pretty much every single year. That's different. Yeah. So I would say Milroe to Lamar's first year.
I could see that, but I think Milroe is way more physically imposing though than Lamar.
Oh yeah.
It feels like he looks bigger. I guess that's why I go with Richardson. But no, I like it as far as the passing part of it.
Yeah.
All right. Houston at Minnesota. Minnesota surprising 2-0.
Yep.
I don't think Justin Jefferson is back for this one, and maybe Addison is. I'm not sure. I'm biased. I'm picking Houston to win on the road.
Yeah.
But Minnesota deserves a lot of props for the way they're playing, and they can win this game.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's having a good season. Shout out to Minnesota. I gotta take a look and see what Dallas Turner's been doing this year. I admit I have not been paying too much attention to his numbers. And I feel like with you, I've slowly becoming a Houston Texans fan. I paid a lot of attention to their game last week. I like CJ Stroud. I like what he's doing with that team. D'Amico Ryans, offensively, defensively, Houston looks good. I wouldn't be surprised if they win the division again. So I'm going to go with Houston in this game.
I like it. So Justin Jefferson is playing. Jordan Addison is out.
Yeah.
And Dallas Turner's out.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what happened to Dallas? What's wrong with Dallas Turner?
Tumbled to the turf in the second half of Minnesota's upset win. He played all, did not practice this week, was around, but he's got a brace on his right knee.
Golly.
So banged up already. Yep. I hate it. But got to go with Houston in that one, I think.
Yep.
This is an interesting one. Philly at the Saints. You just mentioned how hot they are with Derek Carr, man. What are you thinking?
I'm going with New Orleans, man. That offense was smoking hot fire last week. Smoking hot fire. That sounds so not me. I'm going to go with Philly. Coming to the stage, smoking hot fire. Oh my God. I don't know. I like Philly's offense, but I just don't think they have as much as those deep, impactful plays as New Orleans does. New Orleans just looks more explosive. I guess that's what I'm trying to say on offense.
Yeah. And no AJ Brown.
And no AJ. Oh yeah. So Smitty's going to get some more receptions. His individual numbers are going to look good, but New Orleans just has too many weapons. So if New Orleans continues to play like they did the previous 2 weeks, then I have New Orleans winning this game. Yeah,
same here. It's just hard to ignore that the way they're playing. Philly's defense is just smoking hot trash, if you want to know. I mean, it's just they're giving up just too many big plays. I feel like this game's going to get into a shootout, but for them to keep up, I feel like Philly needs AJ Brown, and they could very well lose this one with AJ Brown out there. I feel like even if he was there, I would pick New Orleans anyway. But without him, it's even tougher. But I'm taking New Orleans no matter which way it goes. This is an ugly 2-0 game. The Chargers at Pitt, and I think Justin Herbert is questionable right now. Last look I saw on it, this game could be like 10-7.
Yeah,
I mean, really 9-6 all field goals.
I'm going to go with Justin Fields and Pittsburgh at home. Shout out to Justin Fields. I know, he first year in Pittsburgh, and it was announced that Russell Wilson wasn't going to start, but then Russell Wilson's hurt. He's getting older by the day. So Justin Fields is going to get another start. And I like the Steelers in this game. So is this going to be like, how much longer is Russell Wilson going to play?
I mean, the thing for him is he's getting paid. Pittsburgh's only paying him $1 million, so Denver's paying him like 36 or 37 or whatever. So it's like, your incentives go down. You're still getting your money like next year also. So you're fine. You're taken care of. Who wants for Pittsburgh, I didn't blame them. You bring in 2 quarterbacks you're unsure of. You don't have to pay a lot of money. That's fine. Who's going to want to keep taking that on? Like if Russell wants to come back for $1 million next year and be somebody's backup, I could see that. Hey, I've got somebody just in case. Because I feel like he's got enough in the tank to maybe win you a game or two. But do I trust him across 17 games?
No. Heck no.
I don't know if that really answers. I don't know where they're going from here, but I like just keep trotting Fields out there. But at some point, you're gonna have to score. I'm taking Pittsburgh now, but they're not world beaters by any means. Offense has to get going at some point.
I agree.
All right, what does that bring us to? Denver at Tampa Bay. I'm going Tampa Bay. I don't even know if
Tampa Bay.
Your boy,
I know.
Bo Nix.
I spoke highly about Bo Nix in the offseason. I thought he was going to have a good rookie season. He's not having a good rookie season. It's going to take some time for him to build something there. So yeah, it's just not going to happen for the Broncos. Sorry, buddy.
Green Bay at Tennessee, the Malik Willis revenge game.
Apparently so. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. What do you got?
Oh, and the which way can Will Levis turn over the ball game to do something really embarrassing?
Yeah,
every game now, Rodg.
Yeah. Yep. I think that Green Bay leans a little more heavily on the run game this game. Malik Willis will continue to shine a little bit, do just enough to kind of get Green Bay the win in this game. As you mentioned, the Will Levis project is looking pretty ugly this year. I don't know if it's the mayonnaise. I don't know what's going on there, but it's just not working out right now. So I'm going with Green Bay.
Yeah, and that's funny because you listen to guys who really are watching the games, and that's one thing you got to remember. We're giving a lot of our picks thoughts. We don't get to see all these games. So what I did, I kind of was listening to some Titan stuff this week, and they're like, yeah, he's got some great stuff. He's he throws some great passes sometimes, and then it's just one mind blowing turnover. But I listened to a good one, and this is maybe like with the Bryce thing, Rodg. The guy said, look, here's what you do. You don't bench Will Levis. He said you keep trotting him out there. If he gets better, then you're fine, and you've got your quarterback of the future.
Right.
If he's bad, then you lose more games. You get a high draft pick. Right. He's like, but why would you want to put in Mason Rudolph so you win a couple more games? He's like, Mason Rudolph's not winning in the playoffs. He's like, he's not beating KC. He's not beating whoever else comes out, the Bills, whatever. Right. So all you're doing is ruining your draft pick position a little bit by getting a couple more games out of Mason Rudolph.
Yep.
So I like that. But having said all that, I'm going with Green Bay. Yep. Yeah. Did you know that I read a stat? Every game Malik Willis has ever played has gone under, meaning don't expect a whole lot of points in this game.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. This is not Liberty Malik Willis. This is Green Bay Malik Willis. So he's not going to throw for 300 to 400 yards. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, where did that put us? That's the morning slate. That gets us to the 3 p.m. games. Rodg, the Raiders are going to beat Carolina.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. There's nothing to talk about in that game. Yeah. We're going to see.
It's funny. All Alabama Nation's going to be rooting for the Raiders.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, man, look what y'all did. But and I hope if Carolina's getting beat, I don't want them putting Bryce in. Let Bryce just chill out. Don't want him taking any hits this game. You want to bench him, leave him on the bench. Let Andy Dalton take all the hits.
Yep. Agree. Detroit at Arizona, a game that is surprisingly closer than what you might have thought at the beginning of the year. Before the year, I might have said, oh yeah, Detroit -6, Detroit -7. Now it's Detroit only favored by 3.
By 3.
We're expecting a shootout. I'm taking Detroit because that's who I'm rooting for.
Right.
But anyone who picks Arizona, I'm like, that's probably a really good pick.
I'm picking Detroit too, and I like what Marvin Harrison Jr. did last game. Put up some really good numbers, and they were all in the first half, I believe.
Maybe in the first quarter. He didn't catch anything after that. Like the 2 for 160. That was the last thing, because somebody posted 1 for 130. I think our guys at Cinco Squad posted, "Oh man, he might set the rookie record," which is like 260 in a game. And that man never got another yard.
No, so he had like four receptions, 130 yards in the first half, and that was it. So I don't know what happened in that second half. Anyway, crazy. I'm gonna go with Detroit, and I would not be surprised if Terrion Arnold gets an interception this game. That's one of my predictions as well.
Is who?
Terrion Arnold.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was trying to think, does you have somebody here on fantasy? Oh yeah, he's
no. I do have Detroit on my defense, but I don't know how many points they're gonna give me. So
yeah, Marvin Harrison, 4 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns
in the first half.
Then he called it a day. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us up to Baltimore and Dallas.
I've been looking at this one
for a while.
I could see this game going either way, but again, I don't think Baltimore's offense is as explosive as New Orleans' offense, so I don't think they're going to put up that many points. And I'm looking for Dallas to kind of get revenge on their horrible display to start their season home opener last week. With that being said, I'm going to go with Dallas, and it's going to be really, really weird to see Baltimore at 0-3 to start the season off.
It's weird that we're agreeing on that, but that's where I thought I was going to. Dallas
Right.
at home, bounce back from last week. Baltimore, you just can't trust them. If this game turns into a shootout, I don't trust them. Their record in one-score games is terrible. It's just so many is working against them. But, when we did our NFL previews, I think, 3 of the 4 people had Baltimore in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
This is just not how I expected them to come out the gates if they go 0-3.
Yep.
So only thing that helps them is Pittsburgh would be leading the division, but I guess the Bengals would be 0-2, Cleveland would be 1-1, depending on how these games shake out. So there's a chance to still compete, but man, Harbaugh will be on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably just end up letting John Harbaugh coach both teams at some point. Just like,
Okay.
Okay. All right. San Francisco at the Rams. This is the game of who's left.
Yeah,
you've got no Debo, you've got no Christian McCaffrey, you don't have
George
any
Kittle's
gonna.
I think Kittle is. I don't think he's been practicing. I think he's out.
Kittle's out too. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
So he's going to have Jordan Mason.
No Cooper Kupp, right?
No Cooper Kupp. Good Lord. So look for Brandon Ayuk to get a lot of touches, and Brandon Ayuk and Jordan Mason to get a lot of touches this game. Good Lord. Wait, did you say Stafford's out too?
No, I didn't. I don't think he is. I haven't heard anything about him. He might sit this game if he ain't got nobody to throw to. It's like, Michael.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with San Francisco. I still think they have the better defense in this game, and I think Brock Purdy will be able to get just enough done to kind of give them the lead and win this game.
Agreed. And that brings us to our Sunday night game: KC at Atlanta. Atlanta showing a little fight last week in the last little bit against Philly. KC is KC.
I don't think KC is going to keep it that close, to be honest with you. KC is looking really, really fast. Offense is looking extremely explosive this year. I have KC winning by at least 10 points in this game. Oh, my gosh. You cannot be doing this.
First off, I'm looking at the list, and we've agreed on everything so far. We got to have some kind of controversy here.
That's true.
Atlanta's only +3 at home. They have plenty of playmakers. My hot take, Michael Penix Jr. comes in the fourth quarter and throws a game-winning touchdown to Kyle Pitts. Atlanta with the upset.
So you think Kirk Cousins is going to get hurt, or you think he's going to get benched or something? What do you say?
Maybe he'll get hurt going to the bench.
I just don't think it's going to be that close. I think Casey's going to put a whooping on him.
I think the odds makers know more than we do, and they put it at +3 for a reason. So they're expecting something to happen. So that's totally a guess. Who knows? But that's what I'm going with.
Gotcha.
Gets us to the doubleheader on Monday night, which isn't really a doubleheader because the games are at 6:30 and 7:50. I hate when they do this. Either give me the chance to watch both. Right. Or just give me one game. I hate when this happens. But first game, I mean, Jacksonville's in a free fall. 0-2, not looking good. Buffalo 2-0, surprising. Maybe I just didn't give Josh
Buffalo's
Allen enough
been looking
credit.
good. Yeah.
I got to go with Buffalo, man.
Yeah, same here. Buffalo's looking good. Josh Allen's looking pretty good. I'm interested to see how the Keon Coleman experiment plays out. He's only got 4 receptions this year for 58 yards or something like that. So interested to see if he kind of gets some more touches in this game, but and the running game. The James Cook looked really, really good last week, so I'm going with Baltimore.
Yeah, I agree.
Buffalo. I'm sorry, Buffalo. Sorry.
Yeah, Cook. Oh, duh, because we got the text from Randy about him coming from Georgia and stuff in the middle of that one. Yep. So, and then the other one, Washington and Cincinnati.
Wow. Jamar Chase playing or no?
Yeah, and T. Higgins.
I think Cincinnati gets their first win. Burrow, obviously, he's a better quarterback than Jaden Daniels. He's proven that. I don't know. That's all as far as that game.
I mean, Raj, let's be honest. That's all that this game needs. Yeah. I'm taking Cincy at home.
Yeah.
Washington's still work in progress. Daniels, I think, could be good in the future, but they got a lot to work on.
So
yeah. All right, that concludes that slate.
Don't do it. We got to talk about it, unfortunately.
We have to talk about it?
Yes.
Miami goes to Seattle.
Yes.
If you drafted the Miami wide receivers high in your fantasy football draft. You're probably hurting right now.
Yes, they are. They are. I know. Shout out to Big Mike because Big Mike drafted Tyreek with his first pick. So I don't know how that's going to go with Skylar Thompson playing these next 2 games. I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction first. I hate to say this. I'm going to go with Geno Smith in Seattle. I just don't know what Skylar Thompson is going to be able to do in this game. If he can get rid of the ball quick enough and just hit these receivers, cool. But are we going to see any Tua to Tyreek type of motion in this game? Absolutely not. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to go with Seattle in this game. I hate to say it because I don't think I've ever picked anybody to.
But Miami, yeah.
Yeah, I always pick Miami for obvious reasons, but I'm going with Seattle.
And I feel like I was reading a fantasy football article about it, and they were like, Tyreek might survive this, but they're like, while all the other guys won't.
Yeah.
And then Mostert's also hurt, so maybe A-Chain, they keep feeding him. I just don't see another avenue. I think Geno doesn't have to play great for them to win this one, but Skylar Thompson's been the backup for a reason.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that same consistency, that same touch, that same anticipation that Tua has, So if they can play some kind of ball control and they can keep, but that's just never been their MO. You know, they are a quick strike because that's what Tua is. So sorry, I got to go with Seattle too, Rodg. No offense. So
no problem.
This whole week basically came down to KC and Atlanta. So we'll be watching the Sunday night game to see who takes that one. So week 3 in the book. So if we can figure out another time, folks, whoever's end up watching this, you might end up with some live videos for the NFL. So hey, leave us a comment. Tell us if you'd like that, if you tune in, whatever. Kind of similar to our pop-up shows. It might not be the same every week, but whenever we can fit it in. So, without further ado, or with further ado, as we like to say, Rodg, take us home. 3, 2.
Week 3 NFL picks.
Roll Tide, everybody. Have
Roll
a great
Tide.
night.